Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding the biological magic behind clownfish and anemones. We're going to take you straight from wild ocean science right down to the practical steps of building their home aquarium. So, if you've ever wanted to recreate this incredible alliance in your own space, well, you're definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Now, keeping these complex organisms alive together, it isn't just about dropping them in some salt water, right? It's actually a high-stakes challenge of chemistry, biology, and really precise environmental control. So, how do you recreate the ocean's most enduring protective alliance inside a glass box? Well, the great news is we've got the blueprint right here.
Section 1. The Biological Alliance. Let's look at how this partnership actually works.
At the very core of this partnership is pure survival. This isn't just some casual living arrangement. It's a true biological symbiosis. It relies on mutual protection and some pretty serious biological adaptation. Out there in the wild ocean, their lives literally depend on one another.
The trade-off here is absolutely fascinating. On one side, the anemone provides a formidable fortress using its stinging cells to deter predators. But in exchange for that safe shelter, look at what the clownfish pays in rent. It actively chases away small intruders, fans the tentacles to increase oxygen flow, and even provides nutrients through its waste. And that is incredibly important for the anemone to keep its energy up, especially in nutrient-poor reef settings.
Now here's a hidden biological secret that's just wild. You might think clownfish are born naturally immune to those stings, right? Well, actually, they aren't. They have to go through this gradual learning phase. The fish slowly builds up a tolerance to the anemone's specific chemicals and mucus. They're effectively acclimating to the host's defenses so they don't get stung. It is this delicate, ongoing chemical negotiation.
Section 2. Matchmaking compatible species. Because getting them together is a whole other challenge. Here's the thing. Not all clownfish and anemones actually get along. You can't just pick any random two at the pet store. Rule number 1 is confirming a wild association. If you research host specificity and pair up species that are known to associate in the wild, you're going to have much better outcomes. You also have to factor in the anemone's sensitivity to handling and lighting, and yes, seriously consider the clownfish's personality. Getting this match right from the start creates a much calmer environment and really sets the stage for success.
Section 3. Perfecting the reef environment. Let's talk about the physical setup. Okay, the absolutely crucial factor here is stability. Successful hosting in captivity heavily depends on getting these reef conditions exactly right. For starters, you need strong but highly controlled water movement. This supports gas exchange and keeps harmful detritus from settling around the anemone's tentacles. On top of that, you have to perfectly match the lighting spectrum and intensity, mainly because these anemones rely on symbiotic algae to survive. Add in the need for a consistent temperature, stable salinity, and a really strict nutrient balance, and you can easily see why this requires so much precision.
Now here's a surprising fact that catches a lot of beginners totally off guard. Beware the walking anemone. Seriously, if you don't provide stable, adequate physical space options, meaning the exact right light and flow exactly where you put them, your anemone will literally uproot itself. It'll just walk around the glass and rocks trying to find a better spot. And not only is a wandering anemone a big risk to itself, but a host that constantly shifts is going to heavily irritate and stress out your clownfish.
You also have to walk a pretty delicate tightrope with your feeding routine. See, because clownfish spend pretty much all their time hovering right around their host, feeding them heavily impacts that localized water quality. Overfeeding spikes those dissolved nutrients, and that can rapidly destabilize a tank that's already super sensitive when it comes to algae control and anemone health. So you're aiming for a routine that fully supports the fish, but without constantly pushing the whole system toward excess nutrients.
Section 4. The Introduction Approach. This is where patience really pays off.
You absolutely must follow a strict chronological blueprint here if you want to reduce stress for both animals. First things first, establish the anemone and let the entire tank fully stabilize around it. Give it plenty of time to settle in and make sure it's feeding well. Only after that's done should you gradually introduce the clownfish. It's this kind of calculated patience that really separates a thriving marine tank from a failing one.
During those early days together, you'll want to observe them very closely. What you're looking for is something called the hover and test behavior. The clownfish isn't just going to dive right in. Instead, it'll hover nearby, carefully testing the waters, and then gradually spend a bit more time near the tentacles as it negotiates this brand new micro-territory. And remember that chemical tolerance we talked about earlier? Well, this is exactly how they build it up.
Section 5. Red flags and pitfalls. Because things don't always go perfectly to plan.
You need to keep a really close eye out for triggers of instability. A lot of times, when an aquarist runs into trouble, they immediately look for one single wrong product they might have added. But honestly, it's usually environmental swings that cause the major stress responses. We're talking frequent temperature swings, abrupt changes to your lighting schedule, unstable salinity levels, or even making aggressive adjustments to your water flow power heads. Those are the true hidden enemies of your symbiotic setup.
And here's exactly how those triggers manifest. Watch the anemone closely. Is it constantly shrunken? Is it gaping? Or maybe violently recoiling? On the fish's side of things, look out for rapid retreating without any of that tentative engagement we talked about, or just flat-out bullying and constant harassment. If you're seeing these signs, you might need to step back and reassess your water parameters. Check your compatibility matching again, and definitely be prepared to step in and rehome an aggressive fish if the anemone just simply won't tolerate the relationship.
But if you manage to navigate those pitfalls, you reach the ultimate goal, a calm, stable microterritory where the clownfish's chemical tolerance and the anemone's environmental needs are just perfectly met. By deliberately matching the species based on their wild associations and maintaining a steady, reef-ready physical setup, you're literally curating a living piece of the ocean right in your home. It's a place where those incredible cooperative behaviors can truly thrive.
Creating this microterritory takes a lot. It demands careful planning, a deep understanding of chemical tolerance, and profound environmental stability. All of which leaves us with the ultimate question. Knowing the precise biology and the exact environmental demands required to make this work, are you ready to act as landlord to this incredible biological partnership?